Vasily Kravtsov. Marine forces showed remarkable courage and heroism, defending Odessa, Sevastopol, Novorossiysk, and Leningrad during World War II.
An honor guard of Russian Air and Space Defense Forces, led by Colonel Konstantin Ogienko. Aerospace Defense Forces are in charge of Russia's air and space defense.
Now we see a battalion of the Strategic Missile Forces with cadets of the Peter the Great Military Academy. The column is led by the head of the Serpukhov branch of the Academy, Major General Alexei Konov. The Strategic Missile Forces of the Russian Federation control the major part of Russia's land-based ICBMs.
The combined regiment of Russian paratroops, led by Colonel Anatoly Konsevoy. We see cadets of General of the Army Vasily Margelov's Ryazan Airborne Senior Command Academy. This year marks the 95th anniversary of the Academy. 127 of graduates of this academy became heroes of the Soviet Union during the war.
Now we see the 331st Guards Paratrooper Regiment, led by Colonel Viktor Gunasev. The regiment took part in liberating Hungary, Austria, and Czechoslovakia from Nazi invaders.
The honor guard of the 217th Guards Paratroopers Regiment, led by its commanding officer, Colonel Andrei Sukhovetsky, closes the march of Russia's airborne forces. More than 1,000 military men from this regiment were decorated in various times. 4 of them became heroes of the Russian Federation.
Next, we see company of the 1st Mobile Brigade of Radiation, Chemical, and Biological Defense, led by Colonel Roman Popov. During World War II, 42 military unions of Radiation, Chemical, and Biological Defense Forces were awarded military decorations and medals for their accomplishments.
The 34th and 38th Independent Railway Brigades of Russian railway troops, led by Colonel Igor Afinogenov and Colonel Vladimir Belaitz.
Next, we see Division of Internal Groups of the Interior Ministry, led by its commander, Major General Igor Podubny. In 1945, it was this unit that had the honor of throwing the banners of the defeated Nazi armies in front of the Lenin Mausoleum.
Of the Civil Defense Academy of the Ministry of Emergency Situations of the Russian Federation, led by Major General Pavel Baryshev. The academy trains experts for civil defense purposes.
Now marching on the Red Square, we see cadets of the Moscow Bodyguards Institute of Federal Security Service of the Russian Federation, led by the head of the institute, Major General Valery Kozlov.
We see military units of the Western Military District. The first column is of the 27th Independent Guards Motor Rifle Brigade, led by Colonel Vladimir Yeremeyev. More than 5,000 servicemen of the brigade were decorated with military orders and medals. 10 of them became heroes of the Soviet Union, and 2 became heroes of the Russian Federation.
We now see Taman Guards marching across Red Square in 2013. The 5th Motor Rifle Brigade was renamed back into the 2nd Tamanskaya Guards Motor Rifle Brigade. The column is led by Colonel Andrei Sichevoy. The division took part in World War II from its very first days. 34 Taman Guards received the title of Hero of the Soviet Union for their courage. 5 of them were awarded the Order of Glory, and over 19,000 received various kinds of medals and decorations.
We see the ranks of the 4th Independent Kantemirevskaya Guards Tank Division, named after Yuri Andropov. This famous unit of the Russian army was recently restored to its historical name on the occasion of the Victory Day. The honor guard is led by Colonel Sergei Kombarov. Over 20,000 Kantemirevskaya Guards received orders and medals in the Great Patriotic War. 57 of them were titled Heroes of the Soviet Union, and 5 more were awarded the Order of Glory.
The 6th Independent Tank Brigade, headed by Colonel Vladimir Emelianovich, is now making its first appearance on Red Square. During World War II, its troops liberated 131 towns and liberating the city of Częstochowa, Poland. It got the name of Częstochowskaya Tank Brigade.
This is the last unit of Russia's Western Military District marching. Oleg Zubchik. The brigade fought at the Battle of Kursk a great battle of the war, which Russia will be commemorating 70th anniversary of this year.
The last dismounted troops to walk here are the cadets of the Military Technical University and Moscow Military Commanders Training School. They're headed by Colonel Sergei Rikhel. The university was founded back in 1967, inspired by famous Soviet Marshal Vasily Chuikov.
We see cadets of the Moscow Military Commanders Training School awarded the Order of Lenin and the Red Banner. They are led by commander of the Academy General Mikhail Naprienkov. This is the only military educational institution in Russia that are allowed to hold their graduation ceremonies and parades in Red Square.
We can see now the combined band moving towards GUM department store, giving room for the motorized column. Each branch of troops has marched today to its own original soundtrack. Ground Forces marched to We Are Keepers of the Peace by Boris-Steve Air Force, to Higher and Higher by Yuli Haik, Navy to The Crew is a Family by Viktor Pleshak, and Paratroopers to the soundtrack of Belaruski Vokzal, authored by Bulat Akudjava.
And here armor rolls onto Red Square. The Russian government plans to provide troops with more of state-of-the-art military equipment in the coming years. First come Tiger armored vehicles. The Tiger is a survivable, cost-effective, light-protected, all-terrain vehicle, which is considered very suitable for reconnaissance troops. The parade unit is commanded by Major Alexander Akimenko.
They're followed by BDR 82A armored personnel carriers. The column is led by Lieutenant Colonel Nikolai Gubkin.
Next come T-90A tanks, equipped with state-of-the-art arms for destroying both ground and airborne targets. The column is commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Pavel Varichev.
S 152mm self-propelled howitzers. The column is led by Major Nikolai Vasilyev.
Russia's ground air defense forces. Buk M2 is a family of self-propelled medium-range surface-to-air missile systems designed to destroy aircraft, cruise and tactical missiles, including targets both underground and above water. The column is led by Lieutenant Colonel Ruslan Wojciechowski.
Next comes the column of Russian Airspace Defense Forces and its Air Defense Unit, led by Lieutenant Colonel Dmitry Belyatsky. They're equipped with S-400 Triumph, new generation anti-aircraft weapon system, which is capable of targeting objects within the range of some 400 kilometers at various altitudes.
Column of Pantsir S-1 air defense complexes, headed by Colonel Valery Vorontsov. We see a highly accurate missile system designed to protect civil and military facilities of Russia from any possible aerial attack.
This independent missile division was first to have started using Iskander-M high-precision mobile theater ballistic missile systems. The column is led by Major Konstantin Yelfimov.
Topol-M, intercontinental ballistic missile mobile launchers, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Sergei Razumtsov. These mobile launchers are capable of dispersing across vast territory to conduct a multiple launch from changing positions.
68 modern Russian aircraft are going to fly over Red Square.
First to start the flyover are Mi-26 multi-purpose heavy transport helicopter and 4 Mi-8 transport helicopters. The formation is led by Lieutenant Colonel Alexei Popov.
Here comes a group of 4 Mi-28 multi-purpose attack helicopters designed to be used against enemy armor and to support ground troops. The formation is led by Lieutenant Colonel Edward Kazachik.
Kamov Ka-52 Alligator military two-seat attack helicopters designed for use against ground and aerial targets. The formation is led by Pilot First Class Lieutenant Colonel Ivan Nerushin.
Antonov M22 Ante heavy transport aircraft is flying over Red Square. This is the only aircraft in the world capable of landing on and taking off from unpaved runways with heavy loads. The aircraft is piloted by Major Vladimir Nedashkovsky.
Heavyweight Antonov AN-124 Ruslan, the world's largest military cargo aircraft, piloted by Major Alexander Boshko, pilot first class.
This is a Beriev A-50 AWACS plane, piloted by Major Valentin Kovalyov.
A group of 3 Ilyushin IL-76 heavy strategic airlifters. The formation is flying in a V formation at 200-meter intervals from one another. The formation is led by Major Alexei Kremenchukov.
Next we see 4 MiG-29 fighter jets. These multi-purpose fighter jets are capable of performing their tests day or night. The group is led by Lieutenant Colonel Alexei Vinyaninov.
Group of 4 Mikoyan MiG-31 heavy supersonic interceptors, led by Pilot First Class Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Pavlushkin.
Next we see a formation of 4 Sukhoi Su-24M all-weather attack aircraft, led by Lieutenant Colonel Edmond Nizgovorov.
A wing of 4 Sukhoi Su-34 fighter bombers. The aircraft is designed for pinpoint airstrikes against ground targets. The formation is led by Pilot First Class Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Zhadan.
Continues, and we see 3 Tupolev Tu-22M, 3 supersonic swing-wing long-range strategic bombers and missile carriers. The group is led by Lieutenant Colonel of the Guards, Denis Krivosheyev.
An air show of airborne in-flight refueling performed by an Ilyushin IL-78 in-flight refueling tanker piloted by Lieutenant Colonel of the Guards Sergei Tomov, and a Tupolev Tu-160 supersonic strategic bomber titled the White Swan, piloted by Lieutenant Colonel of the Guards Sergei Volkovitsky.
Next, we see a group of 3 Tupolev Tu-95 strategic bombers and missile carriers. The group is led by Lieutenant Colonel of the Guards Alexander Kokorev.
Of 10 tactical aircraft, including the Sukhoi Su-34 fighter bomber, the Sukhoi Su-27 fighter, and the Mikoyan MiG-29 jet fighter. The formation comes in a battle formation and is led by the distinguished pilot, sniper pilot, Major General Alexander Harchevsky.
Next, we see 2 unique aerobatic teams, the Russian Knights and the Swifts. 5 Sukhoi Su-27 fighters and 4 Mikoyan MiG-29 fighter jets form the so-called Kubinka Diamond. The formation is led by the Russian Knights commander, Guards General Andrei Alexeyev.
6 Sukhoi Su-26BM close air support jets are the ones to close the flyover. They fly at the altitude of 300 meters and at the speed of 550 kilometers per hour. The formation is led by sniper pilot Colonel Alexander Kolov.
Patriotic March, Farewell of Slavyanka, recently, a cop killed more than 100 years ago. The combined military band is now leaving Red Square.
Dear veterans and citizens of the Russian Federation, the 139th military parade on Red Square in commemoration of the 68th anniversary of Russia's victory in the Great Patriotic War was another testimony to the commitment of the Russian armed forces to defend and protect the people of the Russian Federation.
Good one.